I watch episode 30 of Pokemon every year because I watch every episode of Pokemon every year. In episode 30, sparks fly for Magnemite. Ash and friends arrive in Gringey City, a long-defunct factory town. Upon their arrival, Pikachu immediately falls ill and they rush to the nearest Pokemon Center. Elsewhere, the stalkers submerge themselves in sewage to infiltrate the hospital, instead of just walking through the front door also. At urgent care, the on-duty physician acts without urgency or care. The only adult in the room asperses them for agonizing over the ailing electric Pokemon. With one eye open, she misdiagnoses the mouse's malady as a simple cold. The negligent Nepo baby assures them that Pikachu will be better after a night spent under her watch alone. Elsewhere, Grimer gains sentience within the polluted primordial soup. The activated sludge access the electrical grid. Their turgidity tampers with the turbines, turning them turpid and torpid. Those are all different real words. Cutting the power to essential services and giving the nurse another excuse to do nothing. The burdens of another failed state fall to the traveling children. They set off for the power plant, leaving Pikachu with a woman without the will or the means to care for it properly. On their way, they ask another adult for assistance who does nothing to protect or serve. Acting on its abandonment anxieties, Pikachu emerges from the bushes, and Misty must reiterate the plots of half of the previous episodes to Ash. Nurse Joy either just let a sick patient leave or never noticed its absence. The three children enter another understaffed government building, where they encounter non-binary icon Magnemite, who has a thing for Pikachu. The hyper-masculine heteronormative hedonist doesn't understand how a non-gendered, non-biological Pokemon could be attracted to Pikachu. They might have different egg groups, but they share the same heart group. Pikachu's abandonment issues result in a greater fear of commitment, and overwhelmed by affection, it retreats to a more familiar relationship. Magnemite exits and a second suitor slides in. The gaggle of Grimer and their mother Muk trickle in through the tunnels. Biological loads that only exist because of the burden of pollution left by the previous generation. The children insult them for simply existing as well, inciting a chase. As they scurry from the slurry, they link up with the only other adults in the city. They retreat to the control room, which offers neither control nor room. Ash informs them that the Pokemon Center is currently under the sole protection of the most negligent nurse he's ever seen, who is currently looming over a jaundiced Sandshrew egging on death. In the original Japanese dub, Nurse Joy prays, but in our version there is no God. Ash urges Philip and Dick to act, but constant exposure to PFAs causes extreme cognitive disorders. For the first time, they fight Pokemon with Pokemon as a last resort, pushing the still sickly Pikachu to take on the entire gang of goo alone, even though they have over a dozen Pokemon between them and electric isn't even that effective against poison. Pikachu, too peaky, fails to protect them, and they accept defeat without defending themselves with any of their other options. This is the one time that Geodude wouldn't have gotten its rocks rocked. But before they fall, Magnemite returns with Magneton, the power thruple Pokemon. The byproducts of the bygone age are defeated by the technological advancements that their existence incited. Saved by the menagerie of ferromagnetic menage-a-trois, only the Muk remains. Pikachu, still very unwell, is again forced to fight, but this time is aided by its equally conductive consort. Together they make quick work of the coagulated calculated watch. Ever the opportunist, Ash captures Muk, separating a mother from her children. But Muk's pain persists through the Pokeball. Healthy again after expending its excess of electricity, Pikachu is finally ready to accept love, but Magnemite was only attracted to it because it was sick. Who's that Pokemon? Munchausen's by proxy. Pikachu's fear of abandonment is realized once again. When you prioritize apparent perils over invisible problems, you build the expectation that all burdens will be so blatantly present. And without proper nuance, you push away the positives and the negatives. The greatest burden is to see everything as a burden, and the easiest burden to break from is love. Apathy's first filter. But pheromones aren't forever chemicals. Affection isn't an active contaminant. It washes away with warm water and degrades by dawn. Love was love was love. The villains arrive afloat at the last minute with a big magnet. They push the pirate button but are overwhelmed by the LGBTQ+ community. LGBTQ+ minus, because magnets, and they all drown in sewage, I guess. Ash preaches sustainability to Gen X. The officer salutes them for doing her job, and the nurse tells them to come back and visit. They never do. They leave and never return. Ash could have captured the canonically queer-coded creature. He could have kept love alive, but he doesn't even keep Muk. After their last interaction ended in insult and inferred inferiority, Ash pushes the purest, most potent embodiment of environmental burden back on the boomer. Born to the world before the Industrial Revolution, Oak appropriately understands the importance of affection, and is the only one capable of sharing it with the seemingly unlovable Pokemon. And that's the only emotional growth in this episode to be continued.